Music has always been a massive part of my life. My mum taught me piano when I was young, though I quickly switched that out for guitar when I was introduced to Avril Lavigne. I thought she was so cool. When I was in high school, I fell in love with Paramore, played in bands, got sad I wasn't skinny like all the pop stars, and I was mad at my parents all the time and wrote songs about boys. Pretty normal, on the surface at least. School was always obviously aimed at academia and not so much on art. It was viewed more as a hobby than a viable career path. I don't think they really pushed creativity in an effective enough way, and I was pretty good at the academic stuff too, so I felt conflicted at what I wanted to do. There was, what I wanted to do and what I was told to do. I took a bunch of gap years and I travelled loads, and then I decided to come home because I just wanted to work on music in a stable setting and wanted to learn how to produce. I was making indie music at first, which I do love, but as I learnt how to produce, my music started to shape into the sound that it is now. I have a wide range of influences, so I think whatever you get from my music is quite dependent on your favourite artists or whoever you're listening to the most. I grew up listening to alternative rock, and I was also one of those kids who couldn't get enough of dubstep and drum and bass. Now I listen to a lot of things. My favourite artist is James Blake. I also love Frank Ocean, Jordan Rakei. I still love bands like Sticky Fingers, they are my favourite, and I love grunge music too. Oh, and Laura Marling. And I fucking love bass music. I could give the longest list of my favourite albums, and they definitely don't sit in one genre. In the age of the internet, does anyone really stick to one genre? It'd probably be weird if they did. The music I make now is a lot more cathartic for me to make and perform and finalise than the music I've made before. It's sad music. I write about dreams a lot. I have really vivid dreams. I talk about depression and anxiety and things I don't particularly enjoy talking about or find ease talking about out loud. A burst of songs kind of came out of me last year when I was actively trying to capture emotion in a holistic way, sonically and in the writing, rather than to tell a story in a linear fashion, though I do love doing that, any storyteller does. But that's how the sound I have kind of came about. Ever since I decided to not care about where my music was going to get me and just focused on making music I really loved, music I want to make, it's been a lot more enjoyable. I study music, and the problem with music education, I think, is they can kind of try and drive you down roads that aren't necessarily what's best for you. There can be a lot of focus on perhaps the commercial aspect of careers and music and anything. Sometimes the focus is on the outcome largely and hardly on the process or the actual quality of the content you have or what the content even is, and if that's not where your focus is, it can feel a bit suffocating. So it's really important for me to kind of ground myself and keep projects going that are really just for me and nothing else, and to just make songs and write songs that I don't necessarily ever want to do anything with, just for the love of it, really. I produce my own music. I'm not the best producer or anywhere near, but I'd say my music production probably started to improve a lot as soon as I had a couple of people telling me to just find someone to produce for me, saying I wouldn't be able to do as good a job and it would take really long. Not really pissed me off. I wasn't in any hurry to get to a certain level. I didn't have a due-by date. I just expressed wanting to learn, actually fully aware of how long it takes to be good. I have a lot of friends who are producers and they've been going for a very long time. I wasn't trying to be the best producer or replicate the charts. I wanted to catch an emotion or emotions. I wasn't concerned with being in the best studios. I never really tried to explain it to the people who questioned my goals because they obviously didn't understand and just looked at music from a different perspective, which is fine. I just didn't need that kind of mood in my life. It wasn't where I was going. All the people I look up to the most started off doing everything themselves and working from their bedrooms. I'm not very good at finding people to work with, so that works for me. And is largely the reason I can do the things that I can do now. In the end, I guess the most important thing for me on my journey to make music was to be able to actualise the things in my head wherever and whenever I wanted. I could just leave town tomorrow with nothing but my laptop and I'd still be able to make the songs I want to make wherever I ended up. And the escapist inside me really finds comfort and freedom in that. As someone who loves to change it up and move town and go travelling on a moment's notice, it was a real challenge for me to come back to London and just stay here and make tunes and do the same shit every day. But what that really was for me was to be able to create my own freedom and my own escape whilst in one spot, because if I could do that, then I would never feel trapped again. I think music does that. That's at least what music is for me.
Been sipping wine some evenings. Sometimes I cry in secret. Don't tell my mom or dad.
That's not how you want it.
Want them to feel sad. For me, they have enough to carry without more. I'll bury this all deep down because I cannot let go.